Welcome back to Lit Sports Online. We're here with the UFC Fight Night 161 Jedrzejczyk versus Waterson preview. So this card I think is on ESPN this weekend or ESPN Plus, so it's a free card if you have ESPN Plus subscription. But it's
if you don't, what is it, like $5?
Yeah, you get a free trial. Sign up for the free trial and watch the fights and then cancel it.
Start moving football games there, but that's a different story for a different day.
It's a good fight card with some exciting fights.
So let's get to it. Niko Price versus James Vick is up first. Vick going up in weight to welterweight after three fight losing streak at lightweight.
Yeah, James Vick fell in some hard times. You know?
Definitely. I mean,
he was fighting good opponents. You know, it's not like he's losing to chumps. He lost to Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, and Paul Felder. And Dan Hooker just won this past weekend against Ally Quinta, so he's going to be ranked in the top 10. Yeah. Paul Felder's, I think, 14 or 13, so he was ranked above Dan Hooker until this weekend, especially since he just beat Edson Barboza. And Justin Gaethje's about to fight for the title. So it's not like James Vick is losing to chumps and is washed up or anything. It's just he needs to fix some things in his game. He's a tall guy. He fights tall, but he doesn't protect his chin well. He just keeps getting caught with punches, and Felder was able to get inside the range and win a decision. But Niko Price is a lunatic. Dude's just a madman. He just likes to go in there and just throw down. He's just one of those guys who just walks forward and throws wild punches the whole time. And so this should be a super, super exciting fight. And I'm really excited to see how James Vick looks a weight division up. Because that weight cut can have a huge effect on not only like your cardio and like your chin. You know, a lot of cutting a bunch of weight, man. Like you go out because your brain gets jostled. There's less fluid in your brain from cutting a bunch more weight. You're going to go out quicker. But it also just hurts your mindset. Hurts your brain. So like James Vick could look a lot better at welterweight. A lot of people have been looking a lot better lately after going up. So I'm excited to see what happens in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from the experience, I mean, I did a little wrestling in high school. Cutting weight sucked. Because it's like, number one, I mean, when you're bigger, I feel like you probably train harder. You're probably a little bit stronger. But cutting that weight, like, I remember, like, it's like, ugh, like, oh, shit. It's not fun.
No, you're just dehydrating your body.
So it's like just fight your natural weight and just stay disciplined.
And there's a lot of people who have been advocating for that lately, and like ONE FC is doing a thing where they actually measure the like hydration of your body and not only your weight, but they won't let you get below like a certain percentage of hydration and all this stuff. So it's an interesting way to do it, and they've been having a lot less issues because of it. So I'm interested to see what happens there and see if the UFC implements something like that. I would like to see it happen, but who knows? For now, I'm just glad to see that the trend is guys going up in weight instead of guys going down in weight. Because it used to always be guys going down in weight because they'd have the size advantage. They would lose at their own weight and go, well, if I go down, I'll be facing smaller guys, so I'll probably, whatever. But people going up in weight, to me, is a better idea. More hydration, less wear on your body, just an easier time getting to the fight, so a better performance overall, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, we also have the return of Mackenzie Dern. Recently became a mother, still undefeated.
Yeah, so Mackenzie Dern is a super well-known grappler. She's won a bunch of, grappling championships throughout her time. She's the son of Megaton Diaz, who's a huge name in the jiu-jitsu world, and transitioned to MMA, became a champion, I think, in Invicta or Bellator, maybe? I can't remember which one. Came over to the UFC, still undefeated, so excited to see her return. I'm interested to see how she handles the weight cut. She's had some issues making weight sometimes in the past, and so usually, when somebody gives birth, it's not easy on your body, so people have a more difficult time making weight after that. But she looks like she's in great shape in interviews. She claims she's having managing her weight better, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited for her to be back into the fold. She's a fantastic fighter. Her striking has a long way to go, but her ground game is so good that she's a threat to everyone in the division, and is definitely somebody to look out for being a champion at some point in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we have Cub Swanson versus Kron Gracie. Tell us about that.
Yes, that is
a lot of stuff going on there.
It's a super exciting fight, man. Mm-hmm. Anytime a Gracie is in the UFC, it's super exciting. The last one I remember is Hodger Gracie, who kind of had a lackluster time, but Kron Gracie came in and won his first fight in the UFC, and then they did not do him any favors by throwing him to Cub Swanson. Cub's had a rough go of it lately, but he's one of those guys who, for the first few years of him being in the UFC, was just always in that top 5 to 7 kind of fold, and would just kind of always lose that number 1 contenders fight. But the dude has fought everyone in the game and has held his own with everyone and has some great wins on his record and is just one of the most well-rounded dudes in the game. Not to mention his striking style is just super fun, man. He's a great dude. He is super entertaining to watch. And this is a real interesting fight, man. Cub has gotten submitted a few times, over the years. He got submitted by Brian Ortega pretty recently, and throwing him into Kron Gracie, who is one of the best grapplers in the world. One of those guys who's on the grappling circuit for a long time and has proven himself in competition after competition. So it's a tough fight for Cub, but it's a tough fight for Kron Gracie too, man. Your second fight in the UFC, giving you to Cub Swanson, is pretty crazy. I mean, like I said, he's on a losing streak, but as far as his skills go and his name value, that's a huge one. So if Kron wins this, you're getting thrown to the top 6 in the division after you beat Cub Swanson. It doesn't matter how many fights he's lost in a row. After this, where else is there to go?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get thrown in there with Brian Ortega or
into the pit.
or Jose Aldo, or just that top of the division. It's a rough place to be, man. That is a brutal division.
Into the lion's den he goes.
Yes.
And now next up, main event title fight. This name. Help me here, Pat.
So, Joanna Jedrzejczyk.
There you go. Versus
Joanna Champion, as she used to be called.
Yeah.
I still like the nickname, but you can't really call her that anymore. Is gonna fight
Michelle the Karate Hottie Waterson.
Yeah.
Okay, what said that?
Dude, right?
Yeah, striker versus striker. It's just two very different styles. This should be a good fight, man.
I think it should be a really good fight, man. It's. I mean, Joanna's trying to get her title back. That's all she wants to do. And obviously that's all most fighters want to do is get the title. But Joanna was one of the most dominant champions in a long time in the UFC. She came kind of on the heels of Ronda Rousey and dominated people in a completely different way than Ronda Rousey.
She was the alternative.
yeah, exactly. And she was fucking ruthless. Sorry for, cursing or whatever. But dude, she was brutal, man. She's just heartless in there. She's just evil. And it's amazing, dude. She would go in there and just brutalize people. Her Muay Thai is just relentless. That's all she does. She punches you and punches you and punches you and kicks you until you're you just can't take it anymore. It's insane to watch. Watching her victory over Carla Esparza, or watching her maul anybody they threw at her for a while. But dude, the Carla Esparza one sticks out to me because Carla Esparza won that season of The Ultimate Fighter to create this division, and then faced Joanna, who wasn't on the season in her first title defense, and just was completely outclassed. And then you watch Joanna beat, Claudia Gadelha and Tisha Torres and all these women. They're so high level. They're just insane. And then she meets Rose Namajunas, who beats her twice in a row. Michelle Waterson also lost to Rose Namajunas. But Michelle Waterson is on a 3-fight win streak and has some really good wins over some really good ladies. And her last victory was over Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who fought Jedrzejczyk for the title in a really, really close fight. Another really good, kind of similar style to Jedrzejczyk, right? She's kind of a forward-moving kickboxer, right? Jedrzejczyk's a little more traditional Muay Thai, whereas Kowalkiewicz, is kind of like a Dutch style kickboxing, right? So Waterson has some experience against somebody who is a similar style and a similar level. But I think that Waterson's boxing is not at the level that Jedrzejczyk's is.
Yeah, and that could be the difference maker.
Yeah, and so Waterson has a lot of good like movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has like traditional martial arts background, karate, taekwondo type stuff, where she kind of jumps in and out real quick, has quick punches, really quick kicks, not as much power as a Muay Thai style or a boxing style or a kickboxing heavy style where their kicks are just real hard. But she's really fast and has a really, really varied striking game. So she's really she's good at controlling the distance of the fight and staying in, getting in and out of range when she wants to be. Jedrzejczyk is more of a pressure fighter. Jedrzejczyk doesn't fight super well being on her back foot, but Waterson is kind of a counter-striking style, and so that could kind of play into the dynamic of the fight. Is Jedrzejczyk able to pressure Waterson enough that her counter-striking becomes ineffective, or is Waterson able to counter-strike effectively enough that it makes Jedrzejczyk falter on her pressure? Because if Waterson's able to land effectively when Jedrzejczyk tries to move forward, it'll make Jedrzejczyk second guess. But if Waterson's patient, it'll still draw Jedrzejczyk in, and she'll still be able to land some counter strikes, and she can start being a little more aggressive and offensive in her own way. I really don't know what's going to happen in this fight. I want to say Jedrzejczyk might win based on the fact that dude, super high pressure, super aggressive. Her boxing is better than Waterson's, and I think that's going to be the difference maker. Because Jedrzejczyk also has good kicks. She has good low kicks, good push kicks, really good stomach and chest, body teeth kicks, and so I think that Jedrzejczyk won't be ineffective at the range that Waterson is very effective, and I think she'll be able to use that pressure to get inside on Waterson and probably land a lot more punches. So we'll see if Waterson can take the fight to the ground. She stands a good chance of getting a submission, but Jedrzejczyk has phenomenal takedown defense. So Waterson isn't known for her takedowns, more her grappling and submission. She's not, power wrestler or anything like that. But we'll see what happens, man. It's a fun. It's gonna
be it looks fun. It looks like a great card.
Yeah, it's a fun striking match, and I think whoever wins this fight gets a title shot for sure against Weili Zhang in her first title defense. Weili, who we recently covered, and first Chinese-born
I remember that
UFC champ. Super exciting. Her title win was phenomenal over Jessica Andrade. But I think whoever wins this fight for sure gets a shot at the title, and I gotta say, I really want to see Joanna go against Zhang.
I don't see why. Title. I mean, there are reasons why she couldn't, but I mean, my money's on her. So.
Dude, I don't know. Regardless,
I don't know if you should predict, because.
Well, I'm saying regardless of who I want to see win this fight in particular, I just really want to see the matchup of Jedrzejczyk and the champ.
Yeah.
More than I want to see the matchup of Waterson and the champ.
Yeah. There's more.
It's just a more exciting fight to me because they both like to box a lot more than Waterson does. So it's a kind of a crazier fight. And we might see those two ladies just throwing leather super hard, and one of them good. Anyway, doesn't matter. We got to see who wins between Jedrzejczyk and Waterson, and who knows what's going to happen.
And you said it's on ESPN Plus?
On ESPN Plus. Get your subscription.
Yeah, get that. What is that? There's our plug for ESPN Plus.
Yeah, right? It's like $10. Man.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, you shared it with me. There's a lot of good content there. So, yeah, that does it for our show. Again, we actually recapped the Adesanya fight. Spoiler alert, he won. We also have another episode of Charm City Beats, so don't forget to stay tuned for that. Don't miss this fight, and don't miss our recap next week. Take care. Oh, God.
Don't you dare slip that one. Alex, I'll pee on your floor, dude.